Hare Krishna, everyone. Dandot Pranam, all Guru Shila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandot Pranam, Nitai Sevini Mataji, Dandot Pranam, all Guru Shila Prabhupada. Can you hear us? It's 8 o'clock in New Jersey. We're going to start soon. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandot Pranam, all Guru Shila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna Mataji, you're on mute. Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandot Pranam, all Guru Shila Prabhupada, all Guru to you. Yeah.
Okay, Hare Krishna. I'll go with the introduction.
Yeah. Once Mataji comes unmuted, I'll introduce. Hare Krishna Mataji, welcome to
am
our.
I audible?
Yes, now you're audible and you're visible as well. So thank you so much, Mataji. We'll take 30 seconds to introduce you, if I may, if you don't mind.
Sure, please. Thank you.
So thank you everyone for joining this wonderful Lord Jagannath Shravan festival, which has been going on for the last 4 weeks, and today Mataji is going to conclude with her wonderful katha. So Mataji is not new to our ISKCON of Central New Jersey channel, and she has come before, but I was just thinking Mataji has never come to our temple. So maybe with more and more interaction and association, Mataji will someday come to our temple. So Mataji was born in Mumbai, and later she shifted to Hyderabad in 1984. And since then, she was closely connected to ISKCON Secunderabad. Later, she joined as a full-time devotee in 1997 and took initiation in 1998 in Atlanta, USA, from His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. Mataji is presently the principal of ISKCON Divine Touch School, actively involved in congregation preaching, college preaching, and shouldering management responsibilities of ISKCON Visakhapatnam. She initiated Bhakti Yoga residential summer camp at Visakhapatnam, where school children stay as a devotee for 1 week in a temple, which has been very successful. So Mataji doesn't need any introduction, but Mataji is going to glorify Lord Jagannath today. Always, whenever she comes, she's an inspiration to many. And without further ado, let's welcome Mataji and hear with rapt attention her Lord Jagannath Katha with a loud Haribo, Haribo, Haribo,
Haribo. Thank you. Please accept my respectful obeisance, Mataji. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Please, thank you for your valuable time. Go ahead, Mataji. We're not able to hear
Give
you.
me just a second. There's
Sure.
some issue with the current here. 1 second. Okay, is it okay now? Can you put the video on? You can put the video on. Yeah, I think now I'm audible and visible. Okay, Hare Krishna. Devaki Nandaya cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Namo Pankajanabhaya Namo Pankajamaline Namo Pankajanitraya Namaste Pankajangri Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Nama He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया उन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभयश्च कृपासिन्धुभयेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री श्री राधा दामोदर भगवान की जय। जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय। सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की जय। श्री श्री गौर निताई की जय। लक्ष्मी नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय। प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। गिरिराज गोवर्धन की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। गुरु परंपरा की जय। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन वर्तमान गुरु वृंद की जय। Holiness Jai Pataka Swami Guru Maharaj ki jai. Hare Krishna. So happy to be back to your forum after a long gap. So, and looks like this whole month you have been discussing Jagannath Leela, and I saw the speakers before me, all wonderful, amazing devotees, and I'm sure they must have spoken so many nectarian pastimes of Lord Jagannath. So I decided that I'm not speaking on Jagannath pastimes, or rather, I'm planning to speak today on pastimes of a very favorite devotee of Jagannath. And when we speak about the pastimes of the favorite devotee of Jagannath, definitely we'll end up speaking about Jagannath. So that's what I plan to do today. We will speak about Jagannath's favorite devotee, one who sang for Jagannath, who danced for Jagannath, who loved Jagannath, and whose life was Jagannath, whose life was centered around Jagannath. So that favorite devotee of Jagannath is Goswami, and I plan to speak about him today. As the scriptures say, there is book Bhagavatam and there is the devotee Bhagavatam. So today we will speak about this devotee Bhagavatam, that is Jayadev Goswami, and how he worshipped Jagannath, how he served Jagannath, and how Jagannath was also so attached to Jayadev Goswami. So when Prabhupada was asked, who is better, the book Bhagavatam or the devotee Bhagavatam, and Prabhupada said devotee Bhagavatam because devotee Bhagavatam can grab your ear if you are making a mistake. So we're going to discuss the pastimes of Jayadev Goswami, and personally, one of my favorite topics and one of my favorite devotee whom I mean, of course, there are many others, but very special place for Jayadev Goswami in my heart, because when I was a school girl, one of the very interesting or early topics that attracted me was Jayadev Goswami, because the way my Siksha Guru used to talk about Jayadev Goswami's pastimes. I was maybe in class 7 or 8, and he was an amazing storyteller and disciple of Srila Prabhupada. And the way he, narrated Jayadev Goswami's pastime, I was so fascinated and I wanted to hear more and more. So I have that special place for Jayadev Goswami in my heart, because early in my childhood, I was so attracted by these amazing stories of Jayadev Goswami, and how his interactions with his wife, and how he how Lord intervenes and comes time and again in his life, and it was all very magical for me, and I used to really enjoy, and I used to hear again and again. And of course, like those days we had these tape ministries, white colored tape record cassettes coming, and they used to advertise about it in the Hare Krishna world, and I had ordered all of them, and I used to keep hearing again and again about Jayadeva Goswami's pastimes. It was very funny the way my Siksha Guru used to narrate them. I mean, he was an amazing narrator, an amazing storyteller. So yes, Srila Jayadeva Goswami ki jai. So Jayadeva Goswami, he appeared much before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. Well, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared 500 years ago, and even before that, that means like almost 300 years before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. That means, I'm very sorry about my bad throat today. So Jayadeva Goswami appeared almost, let's say, for us, 800 years ago. And Jayadeva Goswami is all the more special for all of us Gaudiya Vaishnavas also, because we see in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, even in the Adi Leela, specifically it is mentioned, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, along with Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar, in private, not in public, but used to hear the songs written by Jayadeva Goswami, the natak written by Ramananda Rai, the dramas written by Ramananda Rai. He used to hear those narrations. And also Bilva Mangal Thakur's Krishna Karnamritam, Vidyapati's song, Chandi Das. So all these names are mentioned in the Adi listening to this, but these songs were so, they were on such a level that it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. Not everybody can understand this, and it's only for senior devotees, as Srila Prabhupada puts it in one of his letter communication with Achyutananda Swami at that time in 1975. He says, the songs of Jayadeva Goswamis are not for us sadhakas. He says us sadhakas, but we all know Prabhupada is not a sadhaka. He's pure devotee, but he mentions like this, it's not for us sadhakas, it is for the siddha devotees. So we can sing them, but we should not try to understand them. We can hear them if somebody is singing, like Gita Govind can be heard, but we should not try to understand them, because it's not for sadhaka devotees, because songs written by Jayadeva Goswamis are mostly explanation of the intimate pastimes of Radha, Krishna and the Gopikas. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhakti Vinod Thakur also has time and again warned us not to try to discuss or in details the translations of those songs written by Jayadeva Goswami. But all said and done, Jayadeva Goswami, amazing devotee, and there is so much to learn from his life. There is itself, forget about his songs, but he himself, the way he conducted himself, the way he lived his life, there's so many lessons then that devotees can imbibe. So coming to his childhood, he was also like just like to the Lord that send me somebody to help my preaching mission, and that's how Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur appeared, and so we call him Ray of Vishnu. Similarly, even Jayadeva Goswami is a blessed one, because his father and mother was Bama Devi and Bhojadev. They didn't have children, and they prayed to Jagannath that they wanted to have a child, wanted to have a son. And that is how a devotee son like Jayadeva Goswami was born to them. And he was a devotee by birth. I mean, he was in very young age also, he was manifesting amazing symptoms of being a pure devotee and always immersed in Krishna consciousness. And at a very young age, he got his deities. When he was just 5 years old, he was once taking bath in the river Ajay, and then something struck him And he said, what is this? And then when he just takes it out, he sees these are the deities, Radha Madhav deities. So Radha Madhav deities came on their own accord to Jayadeva Goswami. And since then he had been worshipping the deities and taking care of the deities, serving the deities. So his life was wonderful. And though he had all the opulence in the world, his parents were quite well-to-do, but he was never interested. In fact, after his parents' demise, there was so much money lying in the lockers, lying in the, everywhere, that sometimes people used to plan how to rob him. On one such occasion, there was this one daku, or one highway robber called Niranjan, and he made a plan. He thought, this Jayadeva Goswami seems to be a fool, doesn't bother about all the money that he has. So he made a fake letter saying that his father Bhojadev had taken lot of loan from Niranjan Daku and it has to be repaid. So this Niranjan, he goes with that letter and he shows it to Jayadeva Goswami that your father had taken a lot of loan from me and now I need the money back. So this is the loan, this is the interest calculation, these are the years. He was trying to give the whole calculation and Jayadeva Goswami said, stop it. I don't want to get inside the whole calculation. You see, there's a locker there. According to your paper, whatever required, just open and take it and go. I'm just busy serving the deities. So then this Niranjan Daku, he became very happy. He just opened the locker and started taking the money. And then he thought, well, anyway, he isn't bothered. He's not even looking at the, the paper. So I better take whatever I want. So he completely emptied the whole thing and he put everything inside a cloth. And as he was, tying the cloth so that he can take it, somebody came running and they said, hey Niranjan, your whole house is burnt, come quickly. So then he just leaves everything and he comes running and his whole house is burned and completely into ashes. Then he understands, probably I'm trying to cheat a devotee of the Lord and this is how I'm punished. So he immediately runs back to Jayadeva Goswami and he falls at his feet and he begs forgiveness. I'm very sorry, I was trying to cheat you. Your father hasn't taken any loan from me. So then Jayadeva Goswami's reaction is like, oh, well, I understand. So, but now since your house is burnt and it all happened because of me, you tried to take my money and that's why your house got burnt. So better at least you take that money so that you can repair your house. You can take that from me. I owe it to you. And Niranjan said, oh my God, I fold my hands. I don't need any penny from you. Even the thought of taking something from you has burned down my house. If I actually take something from you, I don't know what will happen. I don't want anything from you. And that's how even he turned out when he became a devotee. So that glorious was Jayadeva Goswami's life. Anybody who came across him or had a little association of him had change of their mind, had a change of their personality, and they all became devotees. So the life was going on wonderfully. Jayadeva Goswami was having a wonderful time. He was living in seclusion in the forest, away from worldly life, and always chanting the Lord's name, composing beautiful bhajans and songs, and everything was going wonderfully. And then one day something happens in his life. Now, whenever we discuss about Jayadeva Goswami, the dear devotee of the Lord, there are two people in his life about whom we need to talk. Otherwise, his life story is incomplete, because they played a major role in his life. One is his wife, Padmavati, and one is the king Lakshman Sen, who was so very attached to Jayadeva Goswami. He was the king of Bengal. Actually, Jayadeva Goswami's birth is a little controversial. The people of Orissa claim that Kendubila village is in Orissa and Jayadeva Goswami belongs to that village. That's his birthplace. Whereas people of Bengal say that there is a Kendubila village in Bengal and Jayadeva Goswami is born from there. But whether he's born in Orissa or born in Bengal doesn't make any difference to us. We know he's a Vaishnavacharya. And he appeared just to help everybody and deliver and take everybody back home, back to Godhead. So this King Lakshman Sen also was one very amazing personality. His father Ballal Sen was a tantric, and even his great-grandfather was a Nirakaravadi, Nirvisheshavadi. So his great-grandfather was an amazing teacher, and he actually drove the Buddhist out from his from his place, but he was a Nirvisheshavadi. Then later on, his son Ballal Sen, he was completely into occult science. He was into Tantric Vidya. So once when Lakshman Sen, in his very young age, for many days when his father didn't return, he was looking everywhere, where did my father go? So during his search, he swam across the river in search of his father, and to his surprise, he found his father on the other side of the river, enjoying amidst many ladies. So he found that to be unethical, and he swam back and called all the ministers, and he said, this is how my father's behavior is, and he's degraded. So he doesn't deserve to be the king anymore. So the ministers, they accepted, but at the same time they were a little apprehensive because Lakshman Sen was a young boy. But then they thought that, whatever it is, he comes from the king's, he's from the same dynasty. He's actually the, the son of the king. So he is a heir to the kingdom. So he has to become the king. So they make him the king. And though he was a young boy, he was very wise, and he was a very good learner. He was good in learning scriptures, musical instruments, and speaking eloquently, writing, politics, weapons, warfare, and even to dealing with enemies. He was like very well, all-round personality. So over a time, everybody became very happy with him. So once Lakshman Sen, he was a pious person. Yes, it was a pious soul. So once he went on hunting. Now those days, the kings or the prince were trained in hunting, so that they develop a, they need to develop a little strong heart, because in future they have to kill enemies sometime if at all there is a war. So they do that practice by killing wild animals which are causing disturbances. So once like that, he was, in his hunting, he was hunting, and then he was a very good arrow man, and he never missed his target. But on this particular day, when he was inside this forest trying to hunt wild animals, when he was shooting the arrow was not going properly. The arrow was shaking and moving, and he thought, what is this happening? And as he went closer, he understood that there is some kind of a very interesting or very melodious music coming from somewhere, and the music is so intoxicating and so mesmerizing that even the stones or the non-living things are also melting and moving. Such amazing melodious music. So he went close to the source of the music. Where is this coming from? And then he realized, there is a man sitting under a tree, and he is singing this melodious bhajans, which is bewildering everybody. And then he gets closer, and then he finally has darshan of Jayadev Goswami. So as soon as he goes near to him, Jayadev Goswami is in trance. He's just singing some beautiful bhajan, and in the trance, as he's singing and singing, he suddenly falls down. And Lakshman Sen, being a sharp and smart king, he immediately takes hold of Jayadev Goswami, and that way Jayadev Goswami is lying on the floor, but his head is resting on the lap of the king. So now immediately, the king is like unable to move now, because Jayadev Goswami's head is lying on his lap. So some leaves, dry leaves, fallen on the ground. He takes some leaf and he starts fanning Jayadev Goswami, and he's just waiting for him to recover, get back his consciousness. So days together, he's not, he's not getting up. He's just, lying in unconscious way, and the king is trying to fan him. So after 2 days or 3 days, suddenly Jayadev Goswami, he opens his eyes and he looks at Lakshman Sen, in whose lap he is lying down, and he asks, where is Krishna? Now, the king, Lakshman Sen, is a pious man, but he is not on the Bhava Bhakti stage or a Prema Bhakti stage, where if unknown man tells him where is Krishna, he will understand. He's probably thinking, Krishna? Okay, Krishna? Somebody? No, there is no Krishna here. That's his normal reply. It's like, let's say we are also, walking somewhere in a mall or somewhere, and suddenly if somebody drops unconscious and when they open their eyes and they ask us, where is Krishna? We may assume that Krishna may be his driver or his son or something like that. We cannot even imagine that he's talking about Lord Krishna. So similarly, Lakshman Sen, he says, oh, there is no Krishna here. And Jayadeva Goswami says, really? Krishna is not here? And he again becomes unconscious. And now Lakshman Sen thinks to himself, oh God, this is too much. I just tell him Krishna is not here, and he again becomes unconscious. This time when he gets his consciousness back, I better tell him Krishna is here. So he keeps fanning him. And then again after another 2 days, he gains consciousness. And this time he again asks, where is Krishna? And immediately Lakshman says, so Krishna is here. And the moment he says Krishna is here, Jayadeva Goswami is so super excited. He said, really? Krishna is here? And out of the excitement, he again becomes unconscious. And now Lakshman Sen thinks, oh, what a problem I am in. If I say Krishna is here, he becomes unconscious. If I say Krishna is not here, he becomes unconscious. How should I make him conscious? What am I supposed to do with this man here? Here I am in the middle of the jungle, and I'm not even able to go back to my kingdom. And what is this? Go back to my palace? What is this happening? And then after another 2 or 3 days, finally Jayadeva Goswami recovers and he stands and sits. And then, after association of Jayadeva Goswami for so many days and serving him, the king also develops attachment towards him, and there is a change of heart. Because he's serving a Vaishnav like Jayadeva Goswami, definitely there will be a change in his heart. So he immediately realizes, this person is a saintly person, and he, touches his feet and he says that, I want your association. I am Lakshman Sen. I am the king of this place, and I am requesting you, can you come and stay with me in the palace? And the moment he says that, Jayadeva Goswami says, oh no, I have nothing to do with you. I don't want to have any connection with people who are from the royal family. I'm just a simple devotee living here, and I don't want to associate with worldly people. Kindly forgive me and please leave me alone. So we see that, those who are devotees, they are so pure devotees, they are so careful that they do not want to associate with anything that is not connected to Krishna. We see that even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so particular when Maharaj Prataprudra wanted to see him. He denied. He said, I don't want to see anybody who, king or from the royal palace or who are connected to the worldly affairs. So probably because when we get connected to somebody who is connected to somebody who is connected to the worldly matters, still it some way or the other it affects our consciousness, because it's contagious. Just like any other disease, even materialism is contagious. So even in those days, the saintly people were so careful. That is why they used to live in seclusion and somewhere in the deep forest, or where they don't have to associate with worldly minded people. In fact, I'm reminded of a pastime connected with a sadhu. How he was an amazing sadhu and he was doing amazing austerities, but Indra felt insecure, and as usual, Indra, he just asked Ramba or Urvashi or Menaka, somebody go down and disturb him. But for a change, this time Urvashi, Ramba, and they responded saying that, we have our dates full, there is no slot available because already so many other rishis and munis are in our schedule, whom we need to go and disturb. So there are no slots available. We won't be able to help you. So Indra says, never mind, I'll do it myself. So they all make fun of him. Really? How will you do it? We are beautiful girls. We can go and disturb the sadhus. How will you do it? So Indra says, just watch what I will do. So Indra goes there. And the sadhu is living in a jungle, in a very Indra goes there and tells him that, I'm the king. He was all well dressed and says, I'm the king and I had come here for hunting, but looks like I've lost my way. So I'm carrying all these sword, and those days the kings, when they go for hunting or war, even the kavacha which they wear, the shield, it's very heavy. In fact, the other day when I was teaching my son something from history, I was amazed to know that Maharana Pratap, is one very famous king, and just his arrow used to weigh 25 kgs and his armor used to weigh some maybe 80 kgs or 100 kgs. And I was amazed how much physical strength those kings must be having those days. So Indra just tells this as an excuse. He says, oh, this sword and everything is heavy. So I'll just, because the sword was diamond studded and a very pretty impressive looking sword. So he said, can I just keep this here? And I just want to search my way back to the palace, and my soul just will come tomorrow. And so the sadhu says, no. You can't. I don't touch any worldly things, and I'm sorry, I can't help you. And then Indra puts a little more pressure and saying that you're living in my kingdom, I'm giving you a shelter, and as a Kshatriya, I'm protecting all of you. So is it not your duty? I'm just asking you for a little help. I'm not even asking you to touch it. I'm just telling you that I'm keeping it right in front of your hut, and my soldiers will come and get it back tomorrow. So what's your problem? So the sadhu very reluctantly, he agrees, okay, fine, you can keep it. And then what happens? Indra never comes back because that's his plan. So second day, third day, fourth day, the sadhu is waiting. How come nobody came back to take that sword? And every single day he watches it, he looks at it, but he says, what can I do about it? Finally, after 15 days, he decides that my hut properly, I can move it in the courtyard of my hut properly. So he just takes it and puts it, and then he cleans his courtyard. And sometimes he takes it from this side and puts it in that side and cleans the courtyard. And then few months passed, and now what happens? One day a desire comes in his heart. He thinks that if I just keep this sword here, it looks very pretty, elegant, magnificent, with all those diamonds studded. And imagine if somebody just comes and takes the sword away, the king will held me responsible that I gave it to you, and how come you lost it? So better I carry it when I go for plucking berries or picking fruits or flowers. So better I carry it with me. So he started carrying it with him every day. And then after a couple of days, he thought, actually, when he was picking up some berries, some snake attacked. So spontaneously, he took out the sword from the cover and he cut the snake. And then he thought, actually, this is fun. Actually, I use it to protect myself, not for sense gratification, just to protect myself. If some wild animals or somebody attack me, I think I should use it. And then he started using it against all the animals. And then over a period of time, he started actually killing animals for no reason. And he started enjoying it, actually, the power that he had in his hand, such a sharp arrow and such a sharp sword, and he could kill, and then that's it. He started committing sinful activities. And then up there, Indra was laughing, and he was sharing with the other celestial ladies, hey, look, see, I did my job. So as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, dhyato vishya pungsha sanga sangopajayate. So when constantly somebody meditates on an object of sense gratification, and then slowly the countdown to fall down starts, So this is what Jaydev Goswami is trying to explain to Lakshman Sen. He says, I'm sorry, but I don't think I want to deal with But then Lakshman Sen was also a very wise man, and he had a counter argument with him, and he also came up with wonderful points. And he says, you're all saintly people. If saintly people like you don't come and give us association, how will we become good devotees? How will we come out of the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease? We need your help. Is it not a duty of a Vaishnava to guide others, make them Krishna conscious? How can you just live here? If a king becomes Krishna conscious, all the citizens, everybody will be delivered. So is that not your duty? So when there is all this kind of thing, and finally he says, okay, fine, I'm coming. So I'll come with you, but I can't stay in your palace. So he says, no, that's all right. You don't have to stay in my palace. Little far away from my palace, there is this very nice place called Champahati. So Champahati was called Champahati because Champa is the name of the flower, and that place is very beautiful. Even today, we go to my so the heart is actually in Bengali means market. So there's like a market of champa flowers, or rather you can say it's a garden of champa flowers or a forest of champa flowers. Very beautiful place with nice birds. Even till today also, it's a really nice scenic place. There are lots of birds and a nice pond, and it's a nice place. So so he says, you come and stay there. And in fact, that place Champahati is just not an ordinary place. Even in Satyuga, the Lord appeared to Dvijavaninath, Lord appeared to Dvijavadinath in Champahati, gave him darshan. So it's a very, very auspicious place, a spiritual place. So he said, fine, I will come there and I will stay there and I'll continue doing my bhajan there. So that place, Goswami was staying and he was worshipping his deities Radha Madhav, and that is the place he wrote his very popular book called Gita Govind. This Gita Govind is an amazing, just like we have our Bhagavatam. Gita Govind also has 12 cantos, or which are called like 12 sargas. And every sarga again is having some 24 divisions, which are called prabandhas. And then again, each prabandha has couplets, 8 couplets, which are called as Ashtapati. So Jayadeva Ashtapati is very famous in South India, especially. So this is where he composed his Gita Govind. And then after composing his Gita Govind, he was once plucking some champa flowers. And then what happens? He sees Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears to him. Whereas Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared 300 years after Jayadeva Goswami's time, but he appears to Jayadeva Goswami and in this form, Gauranga's form, and I'm going to stay in Jagannath Puri, and now I instruct you to go to Jagannath Puri, and whatever this you have composed, Gita Govind, go and read it in front of Lord Jagannath. So he was so happy, Jayadeva Goswami, when he had darshan of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then according to the Lord's instruction, he decided to make a move to Jagannath Puri. And this is also very significant because he was actually very well settled. He had a king who was like his disciple, follower, giving him protection. He had a wonderful place. He had his own deities. He was comfortable there in Champahati, but he agreed to change his plan, or rather align his plan according to the Lord's plan, which is so amazing. I mean, such a lesson for devotees that we may have so many mind and body and words according to the Lord's plan. Sometimes as devotees, we think that Vrajavasis are so fortunate. They are Vrajavasis, they could stay with Krishna. But if we see the meaning of Vrajavasi, Vraja is like, Vraja is something that keeps moving. And if you see this Vrajavasis, they were always moving or working or functioning or operating according to Krishna's plan. If Krishna said, come on, this is not stone, this is not hill, this is Govardhan, this is Lord, worship, okay, worship. No, don't worship Indra, okay, don't worship Indra. Okay, do this, do that. Okay, close your eyes during the forest fire, okay, we close your eyes. Whatever Krishna was saying, they were ready to, change according to Krishna's plan. So actual Vrajavasi is not like somebody who actually stays in Vrindavan, but even if we are staying in any part of the world, if we are ready to align our lives according to Krishna's plan, then we are also Vrajavasis who are ready to move or direct their life according to Krishna's will, according to Krishna's plan. So finally, Jayadeva Goswami, though he's comfortable, the Lord has asked him to go to Jagannath Puri, he agrees and he moves and he goes to Jagannath Puri. Now there, he didn't have any place to stay. He was just staying under some tree somewhere, something. Life was going on. He was just moving around, singing the Gita Govind, and he became very popular in very short time. People used to enjoy hearing his bhajans. And Jayadeva Goswami was living such a simple life, since he didn't have any place to stay, or even he was, sharing the prasadam with the animals. Sometimes he used to get some prasadam from the Jagannath temple, and then he's eating it on the roadside. Sometimes even the dog comes and eats from the same plate, and Jayadeva Goswami is also eating from the same plate. And that's how the life was going. And then finally the Lord decides, okay, I should send somebody to help my dear devotee Jayadeva. So then the Lord had another plan. So we spoke about Lakshman Sen. Now we will come to Jayadeva Goswami's wife, Padmavati's life, how she came into the world, and then how finally she will enter into Jayadeva Goswami's life. So Padmavati Devi's parents, they were also wonderful devotees of Jagannath, and they also never had children. In fact, I read somewhere that Padmavati Devi's father was from Andhra Pradesh. His name was Sudev, was a very good Brahmana from Andhra. He and his wife, all the way, they walked from Andhra Pradesh to Jagannath Puri. And instead of going and asking Jagannath directly, what they both were doing is they were taking bath in the ocean. So according to the scriptures, this Bay of Bengal, which is touching the Punya Bhumi, Jagannath Puri, it's called Mahadadi. And the Arabian Sea is called Pashandadi. So even in Jagannath Lord. So what these couple were doing is they were going inside the water, taking a dip, coming out, then again taking a dip, then coming out, then again taking a dip. They were continuously doing it. So one Panda of the Jagannath temple, he stopped them. So what is this you're doing? What are you trying to do? You will die. I'm observing you from morning. Continuously you're going and taking a dip, coming back, taking. What do you want? No, we want a desire to be fulfilled. What is that desire? No, we want to have a child. So why are you doing this? Go and ask to the Lord. No, somebody told us that if we keep on taking the dip for 1008 times or something, then he said, no, come on, stop that. Go to Jagannath. All wet with water, they go inside the Jagannath temple and then they ask the Lord Jagannath, we want a child. And then they didn't have any place to stay after offering the prayers. They come out from the temple and they are lying down, in front of the temple on the steps somewhere, sleeping. And in the night, what they see in the dream, Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, Sudarshan Chakra, all four of them are walking and coming towards them, and they're waking them up. Hey, Sudev, wake up. What do you want? So Sudev and his wife, they say, no, we just want a child. So Baladev asks, okay, you want a boy or a girl? So Sudev's wife says, no, I'm not bothered about boy or girl, whoever it is. I want to just give back the child for your seva. So Baladev says, if it is true, why do you want to have child in the first place? So they say, we just want to have the pleasure of somebody calling us, as a mom or a dad, and later the pleasure of actually offering something that belongs to us in the service of the Lord. That will make our life glorious if our child becomes a devotee or serves the Lord. So this is all our desire. So then the Lord says, okay, go back. Very soon you'll have a child. So that is how Padmavati Devi is born. And then, of course, when they were taking this dip in the ocean, the Puri Panda, the Panda had told them that, take some flower and go and worship Jagannath. So they had carried a lotus flower in their hand and they had given a lotus flower to Jagannath. So remembering that, when the daughter was born, they called her Padmavati. Padma is lotus flower. So, and she was very beautiful because she was the blessing of Lord Jagannath, and she was highly qualified, very soft-spoken, with very mild and nature, and very well qualified with all different arts, with dancing and singing and everything. She was very well qualified. She was 12 years old. The parents decided, because those days the girls used to get married very young. The parents decided, oh, now it's 12 years, we should give the daughter for the service of the Lord. So they brought the daughter along and they came to Jagannath Puri, and then they were standing in front of the Lord and they said, Lord, now she belongs to you. Now those days they used to have this system called Devi Dasi system, wherein the unmarried girls, they were getting married to the Lord, and the Lord was their husband, and these ladies or these girls were dedicated their life to the temple. They used to serve the temple, sometimes sing the glories of the Lord or dance, and that's how their lives were. So the Lord speaks out from his deity form, and he says, no, I have another plan for Padmavati. Not here in the temple, you get her married to Jayadev Goswami. So they're wondering, who is Jayadev? We don't even know him. So the Lord says, no. I mean, in those days, there were no Vaishnav or something like that. The Lord was the one who was doing all the matrimony, getting this devotee married to that devotee, sending him, like we see even Swayambhu, Manu, or whatever in so many Kardama Muni's life, or we see that how Lord was actually orchestrating the marriage. So the Lord says, just there is somebody called Jaidev, just go out of my temple, take a right and take a left, and you will find somebody there called Jaidev, and give your daughter to Jaidev. That's what the Lord instructed. And then sincere devotees that they didn't have another thought. If the Lord is saying so be it. So they take their daughter and they're in search of Jaidev. Who is Jaidev? This is calling out everybody. And then this is one man sitting there, all and having a small kamandalu with a little water in it, and that also has holes. And they ask him, "Are you Jaidev?" And he said, "Yes, I am. So how can I help you?" "Oh, nothing. The Lord said that we should give our daughter in marriage to you. So here is our daughter. Thank you so much. We'll take your leave and we bless you. You should be happy always." And I said, "Come on, what is this? This is crazy. I don't know you. I don't know your daughter. I'm a poor Brahmana. I don't have anything to take care of myself. How can I take care of your daughter? You should give your daughter to a qualified Brahmana. I'm not the right person. Please." They said, "But the Lord instructed us. This is what the Lord asks us to do. So here is my daughter, and you please accept." And Jaidev Goswami says, "No, I'm sorry, but I'm not accepting your daughter. Please leave. Take your daughter and leave from here." And Jaidev Goswami starts walking. Go behind him and say, "Fine, here is our daughter. We give her your shelter and we are making a move." And they tell the daughter, "Instructor, kindly follow him. Now he's your husband." And they make a move. Jaidev Goswami is wondering and talking aloud. He says, "What is this? I've heard about Rakshasa marriage. I've heard about Gandharva marriage, but I've never heard about this kind of forcible marriage where the parents force their daughter. They just leave her and I'm supposed to take care of her. Is this fair?" So Jaidev Goswami decides, "Well, nothing to worry. What I'm going to do is just escape from her. That's it." So he starts walking fast, so that she can't follow. But she's walking all the more fast, and then he's asking, "Don't follow me." She says, "But what should I do? You are my husband. I'm supposed to follow you. What can I do?" He thinks, "What is this?" So he thinks, "Oh, fine, this girl is acting smart, but in the night when she sleeps, I'll just run away. That's the best thing to do." So in the night, Jaidev Goswami just fakes it. He just closes his eyes, that let her close the eyes and then I will run. I'll make a move. So he just closes his eyes, just acting it out and waiting for her to sleep. Meanwhile, Jaidev Goswami actually falls asleep. And then in the dream, Jagannath comes and says, "No, you should take care of her. And I have specially sent her to serve you. And both of you together can do wonderful things. So whatever that, whatever songs that you write for me, she can actually dance to those tunes and like that both together can reach the glories, so accept this." So then Jaidev Goswami, he decides, "Okay, fine, I accept you as my wife." Now, all the while, Jaidev Goswami never had any place to stay, but now he has a wife, so he needs a house. So he decides to make a house. So those days, making houses, some barks of some tree and some dry grass or some ropes, and then he uses somehow make a small hut. So he told his wife, "Okay, fine, you need to help me out." So then, by the time they were ready with the walls and all, and his wife was helping him, giving him dry grass and, giving him some bark and some things. And that's how they were making it together. So finally, the walls were done. Finally, the roof was done. Now, the little portion of the roof was left over, and Jaidev Goswami was right on the top of the roof. And now there is a hole inside from which he can see it below, inside the hut. And to his amazement, he sees his wife is there inside the hut. She's cooking something. And then when he looks here, his wife is standing here giving him, wood and dry grass. And he's wondering, "What is this I do?" Then he understands, he asks Jagannath, "What is this?" And then Jagannath shows his form. And then Jaidev Goswami gets very upset. He said, "That is why I didn't want to get married, because I know you will do this. Now look what you are doing. You are the Lord of the universe. I'm supposed to serve you. And here you come and stand and, handing over this dry grass to me. That is why I didn't want to get married." And the Lord is smiling. "Oh, come on, So together they completed the hut, and Jaidev Goswami started living there. And the life was wonderful. Both of them were singing Gita Govinda, and the Lord was very happy and hearing them. Now, during one of these times, there was this incident happened where Jaidev Goswami was trying to compose a song. And in that song, the situation was like, this is one very popular pastime that happened in Jaidev Goswami's life, which now some say that this pastime happened in Champahati, some say they happened in Jagannath Puri. I'm not sure where the pastime had happened, because after some time living in Jagannath Puri, the couple did go back to Champahati, and they stayed there also for some time. They also traveled to Vrindavan. So they were moving around so many places. So once while composing this particular song, where Jayadeva Goswami, usually whatever he was writing was whatever he was seeing, actually, the Leela pastimes of the Lord. So he sees this particular pastime of the Lord where the Lord, on his chin, there is a bindi, or there is a red color mark or something like that. So probably the Lord has gone to the bush with them, Chandravali, and there is some mark left. So when he goes to meet Radharani, Radharani is asking that, what is this mark on your chin? And Lord says, I don't know. So she says, no, looks like you have visited Chandravali. So Lord says, no, I haven't. So then there is a argument, and Radharani shows man. She becomes angry with the Lord, and at that time the Lord is requesting Radharani, okay, come on now, I'm trying to appease her, and Lord is saying that, why not you give your feet, I put it on my head. And when Jayadeva Goswami is actually seeing this pastime happen, and these thoughts are coming to his mind, and now he has to pen it down, so he just stops short. No, how can I pen down something like this? What an audacity I have to put this kind of a pastime in writing for people to know? Or rather, did I see, or maybe is it my imagination? Can this really happen? Can the Lord be so submissive to his devotees? The one who is the controller of this whole world is controlled by Radharani. So he had two minds, and this is something like the writer's block. He was like, oh, I don't know, maybe I should just stop for now, maybe refresh myself, and then come back and give a thought with, if I actually want to put this down, if I actually want to pen down this. So he tells his wife, I just go and take a bath in Ganga and come back. I just refresh and come back. So his wife is like, okay. So he goes to Ganges for taking bath. Meanwhile, the Lord dresses as, it comes in disguise as Jayadeva Goswami, and he knocks the door, and his wife is really amazed. How come he has come back so quickly? Because usually Jayadeva Goswami, when he goes for taking bath, it will take hours together, because he will go to Ganga for taking bath. But when he sees Ganga, he will remember Yamuna. When he'll remember Yamuna, he'll remember Krishna. Then he'll remember Krishna and Krishna. Then he'll he'll take bath. So it'll take few hours by the time he comes back after taking bath. And she was wondering, he just left and in 10 minutes he's back, surprising. So she was very happy to see him. Oh, very good, you have taken bath. And also he says, I'm very hungry. Get my prasadam ready and I need to quickly write something and come back. So the Lord in disguise of Jayadeva Goswami goes inside the room, completes that verse, the verse that was Smaragarala Khandanam, Mama Sirasi Mandanam, Dehi Pada Pallava Udaram, Shri Radhe, Mama Sirasi. You put your lotus feet on my head. So Lord completes that verse, and then Padmavati Devi serves hot prasadam to the Lord. The Lord is very happy, takes a prasadam, and then Lord says, well, I think I have overeaten today. I just go for a walk and come back. So he just, goes for a walk. And then afterwards, the real, the original Jayadeva Goswami comes back. And usually, like in those days, the tradition is the wives never eat before husband eats. And that's the Vedic culture. But now for all practical reasons, sometimes it's not possible. It is good if one can follow that. But anyway, so Jayadeva Goswami, while he's just trying to get inside his hut, even before he gets inside or knocks in the window, he sees his wife is eating. And he's very much surprised that how come my wife is eating before even I ate, because that's what she was always doing, feed Jayadeva Goswami first. And he was really amazed. But anyway, so he knocks the door. And when he knocks the door, and his wife opens the door, he's asking his wife, so what about my prasadam? So his wife is like, you just had prasadam, is it not? And then Jayadeva Goswami was like, what are you talking? I just came. I'm asking you for prasadam. So no, you just had prasadam, didn't you? And then didn't you write something? Didn't you? So she was like all bewildered, and she runs inside the room, and she's looking everywhere, and she's looking under the bed. And Jayadeva Goswami was like, what are you doing? I don't know, I'm bewildered. I actually saw you. You actually had prasadam with me, and you went inside, and this is what you wrote something. And then Jayadeva Goswami, he just opens his book, wherever he was writing, and in his palm leaves or whatever. So the ink is still wet, and he says, yeah, the Lord has actually written that verse, which he was, still formulating in his mind that should I write this or should I not write it. And then, he immediately screams, Padmavati, and, he immediately falls down. Padmavati Devi was so used to his voice modulation, because when he says Padmavati, that means Padmavati. He's calling Padmavati. When he says Padmavati, means he's going to fall down now, unconscious. And she was used to, this was regular, she can understand that now he's just about to fall down unconscious, and she holds him. And then after some time, he regains his consciousness, says, Padmavati, do you know what just happened? And she was a simple, innocent lady. Yeah, I understand. This magician has come. That's what she says in a very innocent way. She cannot even fathom that actually Lord must have come. She's just putting it like, yeah, looks like some magician, And as soon as she uses the word magician, Jayadeva Goswami is like, exactly. That is the word Radharani used for Krishna. Radharani said, Krishna, you are like a magician. Oh, come on, I have so many things to do. Why are you standing in my room? Go to your kitchen and do whatever damn you were doing. Let me write. I'm writing something. Don't disturb me. And he again gets into writing and, into the pastimes and starts writing whatever he was, writing. So like that we see in his life, there were this amazing, amazing pastimes. And when Jayadeva Goswami was not around, and this Gita Govind, they're supposed to sing in front of the Lord, but over a period of time when some other kings came in, and they did stop singing of Gita Govind for Jagannath Swami. And very famous pastime when Gita Govind was stopped being sung in the temple, the Lord was so upset. And in fact, one day he went behind a girl in Jajipur called Padma, who was singing Gita Govind. So when some random girl, Padma, was singing Gita Govind in a brinjal garden, where she was picking up some eggplants, some brinjals, eggplants, the Lord actually went behind her because she was singing so beautifully Gita Govind. And Lord lost track of time, and he was just following her. And then he suddenly remembered that I need to be back to the temple for Aarti time. So he comes back, into the temple just in time when the pujaris open the curtain. And to the horror of the pujaris, they see that the Lord's upper cloth is missing, and his body has all marks, everywhere, as if somebody has scratched him very badly. So they immediately summon the king, we don't know what has happened. This is what has happened. So we haven't served the Lord properly, and we are making some offenses. So he starts fasting, and everybody's fasting. They're not eating anything. And then the Lord comes in the dream of the king and says, don't get so worked up. What exactly happened is this: they have stopped singing Gita Govind, and I was missing. I want to hear Gita Govind. And I saw this girl, Padma. She was singing Gita Govind while she was picking up some eggplants. But the problem is this, these pujaris, they put so much camphor and agru and sandalwood on my body that when I was trying to follow Padma, the more I get closer to her, she used to smell my sandalwood or my camphor on my body, and she was turning around just to see who is following her. And to escape her eyes, I was trying to hide inside the bushes, and these bushes had a lot of thorns. So I was coming in and out, hiding and coming out, and that's why these thorns of the bushes, they scratched my body. And you can, if you don't believe me, you can actually go to that this brinjal garden, and you can find my upper garment there. So the king actually goes there with all his soldiers, and they actually find the Lord's upper garment, and then they move around the whole town, knocking on everybody's door and asking them, is there a girl called Padma living here? Is there a girl called Padma living here? And a gardener comes out, yes, my daughter is Padma. What did we do wrong? Oh, nothing wrong. You just need to shift now. We're taking you with us to Jagannath Puri, and henceforth your daughter is going to sing for the Lord. So they, shifted the whole family from Jajipur to Jagannath Puri, and then they gave them housing and all the accommodation. And then this tradition started where every single day, Padma and afterwards the others continued of singing Gita Govind to Jagannath. And Gita Govind over a period of time became so very popular that everybody in Jagannath Puri had Gita Govind by heart. In fact, there was this Muslim guy who really loved this verses, though he could not understand the meaning, but he just loved the, so he went to Jayadeva Goswami and he says, can you teach me? I want to learn how to sing this. And over a period of time, by associating with Jayadeva Goswami, became a devotee, and he learned the verses of Gita Govind. So he was asking permission from his guru, Jayadeva Goswami. He said that when I ride on the back of the horse, I go for wars, I keep traveling. So can I do that? Or do I have to sit in the puja room and sing? So Jaydev Goswami says, I don't mind. You can keep singing Gita Govind all the time. But only thing is that when you sit on the horse and sing Gita Govind, make sure that you keep some space, you keep some space, the place where you sit. And he said, I'm unable to understand. What do you mean by that? So Jaydev Goswami says that the Lord likes Gita Govind so much. If you're going to sing it while you are on riding on the horse, then Lord is also going to come and sit with you. So make some place for him. So this Muslim guy, he was like, really? I mean, he didn't have that much faith that Lord will actually come. So after that, he forgot about it. He took it as some kind of a joke, and then he went around. And then one day, as he was actually galloping on he was actually on the horse, and he was just unconsciously singing Gita Govind. He was enjoying and humming and all. And suddenly he felt that, very congested, as if somebody is pushing him. And then he realized that actually it's the Lord. The Lord is sitting right in front of him and pushing him, give me some space. And Lord is hearing Gita Govind. And he went back to Jaydev Goswami and fall on his feet. He said, oh, you are so right. The Lord loves Gita Govind. When you sing Gita Govind, he just comes and he wants to sit and hear. In fact, there is this very sweet pastime of a cobbler. How there is this 4 thieves. They actually go to somebody's house and they steal everything. And while they're dividing the whatever they have robbed, they see this Shaligram Shila, and they don't realize it's a Shaligram Shila. They were just robbers. So they think this is a black stone. What are we going to do with it? So whatever they got, they divided among themselves. But this black stone, they gave it to one among them. This guy was like, how will I make money out of this? So he goes to the cobbler and he says, do you want this black stone? And the cobbler is like, looks like a nice stone. I can keep my footwear on it and I can stitch it. He actually took that for stitching his footwear. And once a Brahmin comes there, and when he sees this, he says, stop this. And you understand, this is not a black stone. This is a Shaligram Shila. Just come on, give it to me. And he takes it back from the cobbler and takes home and, washes and cleans and does Abhishek, Panchamrita Abhishek of the Shaligram Shila, and worships and shows Agarbatti, Dhupa, Naivedya, offers all the fruits and whatever, feast. And at the end of it, the Lord from the Shila speaks to the Brahman and says, if you don't mind, can you just drop me back to the cobbler? And the Brahman is like, why, my dear Lord? I'm serving you so nicely. He was actually, that's all right, but you know what he was doing? While doing that, he was singing Gita Govind. And I love to hear Gita Govind, but you are not singing Gita Govind. So even though you give me all these 56 varieties of prasadam, I'm not happy. I want to hear Gita Govind. So the Brahman says, okay, my Lord, I'll sing it for you. Don't go back to the cobbler. I'll sing Gita Govind every day. So like that, the Lord was Lord is so attached. Jagannath is so attached to hearing Gita Govind composed by Jaydev Goswami. So Jaydev Goswami was a simple person. During his lifetime, he was supported by the king of Bengal. He was supported by the king of Orissa. Even the Chola, Ganga Chola, the Chola kings were also very supportive of him. In fact, they used to give him so many. Can you put the voice? I'll not have time. So I'll try to wind it up in another 10 minutes. So they used to give him a lot of gifts actually. So every time that he's, in some sabha or maybe just, some kind of a bhajan night or something, they used to offer him a lot of gifts. So once what happened that from Lakshman Sen's palace, he was going back to Champahati. So on the way, he's busy in his own singing and bhajan. He's even not even conscious what the gifts the kings have given. That whatever the gifts the kings give, it just follows him in bullock carts, bullock carts and cartloads of gifts and, gold coins and fruits and groceries and so many such things, it will be following him. So once he was just singing and going, and some highway robbers, they saw this and they thought this is an amazing opportunity. So they got hold of Jaydev Goswami, something like you see in the Bollywood movies. Okay, come on now, hands up and arrest and we're going to take. So Jaydev Goswami said, come on, you don't have to do all these things. You know, just take whatever you want. I'm least interested. Come on, take whatever you want to take. You know, and he said, I'm just getting down from the car. You can take this car also. And he starts walking home. So these robbers, they get amazed. How can somebody be so detached? He's just not bothered. He's happily singing and going away. Whatever you want to take, you take. So then one among them, he was very smart. He said, maybe he's just acting. Maybe in front of us, he's acting that I don't care, you take it. But he has very good relation with the king Lakshman Sen, and probably he's going to complain about us, and we will be in problem. Better we, we make sure that he dies so that he doesn't complain about us. So they go and catch him from the back by his neck, and they cut his 2 hands, and then they drag his body and they throw him inside a dry well in the forest. And his hands are cut and they are bleeding. Definitely they will die within some time. So they just throw him inside a dry well and assuming that he will die. And they take all the things that they have stolen and they go back, Now what happens is his wife is wondering, it's been many days now, my husband hasn't come back home. Looks like he's preaching to the king. And the king is thinking, it has been many days now, I haven't seen my Guru Maharaj. I don't know how he is, I'm just eagerly waiting to see him. Maybe I should just go and visit him. So the king decides, okay, let me go and visit him. So the king now from his palace is on the way to Champahati. So on the way, as he has to pass the same way that the Jaydev Goswami had taken where the thieves had robbed him. Now Jaydev Goswami is still alive. He is inside the well. What has happened to him is the moment that they cut his 2 hands, he became very ecstatic. Because the moment they cut his 2 hands, he remembered Jagannath, because you know how Jagannath's form is, the hands are inside and Subhadra with no hands. So he got completely ecstatic. So he was crying and singing and composing beautiful bhajans on Jagannath. So now when the king was, on the way to Champahati, he hears, hey, what is this? I hear Jaydev was singing. So then they start searching for him inside the forest. It looks like he's somewhere here, And they don't know that he must be inside some well. So finally they find him. The soldiers, they bring him out. And he's in so much ecstasy. He's just singing. He's singing about Jagannath. Tvameva sharanam, tameva sharanam, manodhara, Sri Jagannatha. So he's completely in ecstasy. And when they're taking him out and they see there are no hands, the king is crying, tears are coming out. Hey, Jaydev, who did this to you? And he's saying, can't you see? Tvameva sharanam kamalodhara Sri Jagannatha. He's going on singing, and they could not understand what to do. They immediately take him to the palace and they call all the Veda and all the physicians, and they just make him fine. Now the Lakshman Sen, the king, he asked Jaydev, he says, and after a few days when everything gets settled, so you are a pure devotee of the Lord. Whatever you ask, the Lord will fulfill. Why can't you ask the Lord to give you back your 2 hands? And there are no hands, you are suffering. And Jaydev says, really? I'm not suffering at all. I'm so happy. And whenever I see this, there's no hands, I just remember Jagannath. And 24 hours, I'm able to remain in Jagannath's consciousness. I don't want my hand back. I don't need anything. I'm very happy. Lord has given me everything. So now what is happening? Because now Lakshman Sen had this revelation of this Guru was residing with him inside the palace. Every day, morning, evening, there was satsang, and he was very happy. And Jaydev Goswami was guiding him very nicely. So one time Jaydev Goswami told him that, hey, look, next day of Ekadashi, on Dvadashi, you should not break the fast just like that. You should actually feed all the Brahmanas, give them charity. Then your fast will be completed in a proper way. So he said, okay, Guru Maharaj, as you say, I'll do it. So he invited all the Brahmanas. The king is going to distribute lot of wealth and cow and money. All the Brahmanas are welcome to come and have prasadam with the king. So now these 4 thieves who had actually cut Jaydev Goswami's hands, they were just, they're robbers. This is their job. So they thought, oh, this is a good invitation we got. Let's, come take the disguise of the Brahmana and go and get some charity. very happy. So they put nice tilak and had nice dhotis, and they stood in the line as if they're nice brahmanas with their Brahman thread. They thought they'll get some charity. They were very happy. So now they were in the queue, and one by one, what the king was doing is, because Jayadeva Goswami has no hands, the king was actually taking whatever he's supposed to give for charity, touching to his guru, and then giving it as charity to the brahmanas. And Jayadeva Goswami was just sitting right next to the king. Now, as the queue came closer, these thieves, they saw Jayadeva Goswami, and they thought, oh, this guy is alive after what we did to him. Oh, looks like he's going to tell the king about us. Let's just move out from here. So they decided, let's not take this charity and let's run. So they just turned their back and they're about to go. The moment they're about to go, the soldiers stopped them. Hey, brahmanas, the honorable brahmanas, why are you leaving? Please don't do that. It's an insult to the king. If you want, more charity will be given. Plus, don't leave the place without accepting the charity. Please, please continue. Please be in the queue. So now they thought there is no escape. The line is coming more closer and the more closer, and finally it was their chance now. And Jayadeva Goswami looked at them, all the four of them, and he simply smiled and he whispered something in the king's ear. They did not understand what is it. They were sweating in their horror. What will happen? They were all afraid. But what actually Jayadeva Goswami had whispered is that these four people are very special to me. Please give them little more. So the king said, okay, since they're very special people for my guru, so whatever everybody got, 100 times more, he gave it to these four people. These four people became very happy. They thought, this guy is a fool. We thought that he will complain to the king. Instead, he asked the king to give us more. Crazy fellow. So now they just took everything and they're about to move. Then immediately Jayadeva Goswami shouted, no, stop them. Now they thought, okay, maybe he has changed his mind. Now he's going to catch us. He said, no, they should go safely. Please send 4 soldiers with them. Because Jayadeva Goswami was thinking that just like they robbed me and just for robbing they cut my hand, somebody may rob them or disturb them. Better they should go safely. So he told the king, they're very special. And they should that they reach home safely with whatever donation they have collected today. So now they got a royal reception. Guards took them, all these 4 robbers, and dropping them back home. Now, after dropping them, when the guards were just about to make a move, one of the guard asked these 4 people, I have a small question. Please don't mind, honorable sir, my curiosity. But till now, we never saw our king's guru showing special favor to anybody. He is equal to a dog or an elephant or a brahmana. To everybody he is equal. Why has he shown so much special affection for you? What is that special relationship you have with him? So they said, okay, actually we don't want to share this, but since you are asking us, fine, we'll tell you the secret, why he has such a special relation with us. Actually, your king's guru is not a good guy. He's a sinful guy. He has done a lot of wrong things previously. So the kings, the Chola kings, and they actually asked us that to kill him, and throw him in the forest. But we, out of our merciful and compassionate nature, instead of killing him, we gave part punishment. We just cut his hands and throw him. So because we did that special favor to him, that is why he's having that respect for us or having that gratitude for us. Now, the moment they said like that, immediately there was an earthquake, because it says in the scriptures that Mother Earth is not burdened by our weight or by our obesity, but she is burdened when we speak lie or do sinful activities. Mother Earth could not tolerate anymore that these guys are so ungrateful. Jayadeva Goswami forgave them and gave them so much affection. There, speaking so doing him. So immediately Mother Earth, she tore apart, and all these 4 people, they went inside, and again, Mother Earth closed. Then the soldiers were shocked seeing this, and they ran back to the king and told them, this is what happened. Don't know what exactly happened. We could not figure out. Then Lakshman Sen went and confronted with Jayadeva Goswami. Please tell me the truth. I want to know, what is this? Who are these 4 people? Then Jayadeva Goswami says, well, actually, they are the ones who cut my hands. They are robbers. I just thought that why this thing came up in their heart, just because they wanted some Lakshmi, they wanted some gold coins. I thought if, you can give them more and satisfy them, they will not trouble others. That was my intention. Nothing else. So like that, it was amazing devotee. And not only that, even his wife was such a chaste lady that, when once, because now they were, because of no hands and all, they were actually literally living inside the palace of the king and giving them association, and Padmavati Devi was giving association to the king's wife. So once in a general ladies gossip or ladies talk, the king's wife shared with Padmavati Devi that, well, my sister-in-law is such an amazing chaste lady that when her husband died, she actually gave up her life on the pyre, on the funeral pyre. What chastity she has. So immediately Padmavati Devi said, really? Is that what you call being chaste? What's the big thing about it? In fact, if somebody's really a chaste lady, they don't even need a fire. The moment the husband is died, or if they come to know that the husband has left the body, there will be a separation fire inside their own body which will burn them. They don't need another fire for that. So the king's wife felt offended that Jayadev Goswami's wife is having so much ego. With such a big, bold statement she made. Let me check how chaste she is. So within few days, what happened is they had gone for hunting. Jayadev Goswami and King Lakshman Sen had gone into the forest or the regular exercise. So what she did is, when they were about to come back on their way, she had this whole thing staged, where a servant came running, while the queen and Padmavati Devi are sitting together, a servant came running and said, "Oh Padmavati Devi, I have a bad news for you. Your husband has left his body on the way from the forest." So immediately Padmavati, when she heard that Jayadev Goswami is no more, she left the body. Immediately she just, she was on the floor. Now the queen got afraid. Oh, what is this I did? It was just a test. I just wanted to test her chastity, and now I'm in big trouble. So now when the king comes back and Jayadev Goswami comes back, what should I answer them? She was trying to, wake her up. What is it? But there was no breathe, nothing. She just left the body. Now they don't know what to do. And by the time the king came back and he came to know about all these things, and the king became so upset. He said, "You wretched lady, you want to test my guru's wife? This is what you do." And he took out a sword and about to kill his wife. At that time, Jayadev Goswami gets a desire in his heart. Oh, why is the king killing his wife just for the small little thing? Oh my Lord, I wish I had my hand. I could have stopped this. The moment he had this desire in his heart, I wish I had my hand back. I could have stopped it. Immediately the hands came back. Because a pure devotee, whatever he desires, it happens. He does not have any desire, doesn't desire that what Lord can do, but now he desired. So Lord was happy to give his hands back. The moment he got his hands back, he just, oh, stop it. Lakshman said, "Don't kill your wife." And the moment he shouted, "Stop it," Lakshman said, Padmavati Devi was just lying there, immediately got up. "Oh my Lord, you are alive? Then I'm also alive. Yeah, here I am." That's it. She got her life back, and everybody was, surprised seeing the chastity of the queen, So of course, many may think, how can that be possible? But I mean, even in the modern science talks about it, or this is something called astral projection, where actually, even the people who are doing advanced yoga system, they can actually do it, move the soul from the body. In fact, we see even in Adi Shankaracharya's life, when he had this Shastrartha with Mandan Mishra. Mandan Mishra was an amazing scholar, and even his wife Bharati was an amazing scholar. And Mandan Mishra and Shankaracharya had the Shastra, the debating. Bharati was the judge, because she was highly qualified. So she was a judge who will decide that who has won the debate. So in between the debate, when she saw that her husband is getting defeated, she started asking all kind of grihastha related questions to Adi Shankaracharya. And then Adi Shankaracharya stopped in between and said, "Dear mother, the questions that you're asking, it will be difficult for me to answer right now because I'm a brahmachari. So give me some time. I'll get back to you with answers." Then Adi Shankaracharya leaves the sabha. And then he actually goes in the forest where a king has just left the body while he was hunting. So he actually, keeps his body with his disciples safely, and he moves out from his body, enters into the king's body, and then he lives the life of the king with queens around him, and understands the principles of grihastha ashram and what all goes on. And then again he moves out from the king's body, comes back into his body, again goes back to the sabha and answers all the questions that were posed by Bharati, and that way defeats Mandan Mishra. And then Bharati and Manan Mishra became his disciples, and they take initiation from him. So it is possible. And in fact, there are so many big books on astral projection. So yeah, so this is what happened to Padmavati Devi also. She actually comes out, by her yoga siddhi, or because bhaktas are anyway highest yogis. So I mean, all these are, all these are their menial servants, all these yogic powers of Anuma, Anima, Laghima, or whatever. So this is what happens. Anyway, and then coming to the conclusion, as he got old, and of course, there was another king called Purushottam Dev, not the devotee Purushottam Dev, because this has all happened so many years ago, but he had also penned down Gita Govind. And I mean, not exactly envious of Jayadev Goswami, after seeing these Gita Govind of Jayadev Goswami, he was very much inspired to write his own Gita Govind. So he wrote something called Abhinava Gita Govind, which is the newer version, like we have Windows 10 or Windows 11 updates. He made a new Gita Govind, and he presented it to the Puri Pandas, and he told them that henceforth you can stop reciting Jayadev Goswami's Gita Govind, and you should recite this new Gita Govind. And the pujaris were not very happy, but he's the boss, so they did it. But Jagannath actually spoke to them and said, I want to hear Jayadev's Gita Govind. But they were like reluctant to tell this to the king. And finally, they told the king that, this is the truth. So king said, I don't believe you. So then they decided to do an exercise. In the altar, and let's come back in the morning and see which Gita Govind the Lord has selected. So they said, fine. So they closed the doors, and next day morning when they come, they see that Jayadev Goswami's Gita Govind, the Lord has held it close to his heart, though his hands are like this, and it's somewhere here. And the king's Abhinava Gita Govind is everywhere. All the papers and everything is thrown around. So the Jagannath has given his judgment that I want to hear Jayadev's Gita Govind. Now, this king was not a bad guy. He was also a devotee, but you see, sometimes among the devotees also there may be, he wanted to do something for the Lord, so he felt disappointed. So he said, I better end my life. I don't want to live anymore because the Lord has not accepted my service. So he just the ocean to give up his life. So then Lord Jagannath actually comes behind him and stops him. Hey, don't do this. So he said, no, I don't want to live, Lord. You have not accepted my service. I don't want to live anymore. So he starts walking, and he drowning himself in the ocean. And the Lord is, bringing him out, and he's again drowning himself. The Lord is bringing him out, and the Lord says, okay, let's stop this. Okay, can we make an agreement? Okay, I can't accept the total of yours because I like Jayadev's Gita Govind, but is it okay if I accept few slokas from your Gita Govind and mix it with Jayadev's? Is that fine? He said, okay, fine, at least something you accept. So then Lord takes some 12 verses from Abhinava Gita Govind, and then from that time onwards, they started chanting Gita Govind of Jayadev, and 12 verses from the king's Abhinava Gita Govind. And Lord was hearing both of them. So like that, Lord has such amazing dealings with his devotee, so full of love. When we hear this, we find it so amazing. The Lord pleading with the devotee, the Lord arguing, the Lord loving. Yes, the Lord is so much surrendered to the devotee. So yeah, what's the time now? 6:50. Okay, I had so many other stories, but I don't know how much. Shall I close it here or?
Yes, Mataji, 9:20. So our time is 9 o'clock. But thank you very much.
Close it here.
Wonderful.
So yeah. So we'll close here. There are so many other. This body in, of course, there are very controversies of where he left his body, but his samadhi is there in Radha Kunda, and also one of his samadhis in the 64 samadhis area in Vrindavan. So he left some time during Sankrantri. So these are the glorious pastimes of Jayadev Goswami, one of the favorite devotees of Lord Jagannath. So we can pray heartfully to Jayadev Goswami to just like his Gita Govind is so sweet and so much loved by Lord Jagannath. Maybe he should bless us that our bhakti also becomes that sweet and pleases Lord Jagannath, Baladeva and Subhadra Maharani. So with this, I'll end here. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Jaidev Goswami ki jai. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mataji. All glories to you. So all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Can I take one or two questions? Let's see if anyone has any. Dear devotees, if you have any questions, you can raise your hand. Now you can speak. Hold on. Turn mute. Hare Krishna, anyone has any questions? Okay, looks like no questions.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandot
Go ahead.
Pranam. Very nice class. You glorified the devotee and you made sure we understand devotees are very powerful, and some of these pastimes reflect on how Lord Jagannath is very personalized. You know, he comes and makes his laws and appearance, and so many details wherein you touched on Jayadev, and recently we in our temple we had his Padavali danced as an offering to the lordships during the Rath Yatra. So when we try to understand the powers of devotees in terms of how we recognize devotee relationship, what we can learn from Jayadev's Srila Jayadev's life, so that we increase devotee relationship in our community, Mataji.
What can we learn from Jaidev Goswami's life to make our community a better place?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful, nice. So what we can learn from Jaidev Goswami? Yeah, his surrender to the Lord, his simplicity, such a faith he had, such a surrender he had towards the Lord. Attachment to the Lord. And one more thing, I mean, I would like to point out via this question is that sometimes in our spiritual life we become too much of what is in there for me. Let's say today we spoke about Jaidev Goswami's pastimes, or we spoke about any other pastimes also. Somehow of late our mind is trained in such a way that whatever I hear, the katha or lila, there should be some takeaway lesson, or there should be something in that for me. There should be something practical which I can actually apply in my life. But it's not always about us. Sometimes these leelas are not just to take some lessons. Sometimes the leelas are just to relish and be in Krishna's space. Otherwise, we are always about in me space or I space, me, my, mine. And we are sometimes so much obsessed with that thought that any leela that we hear or any class that we hear, we are like, is there anything that I can take from it? What is there in for me in that leela? It's good to have that, but not always. Otherwise, though we are trying to keep Krishna in center, unconsciously sometimes we start keeping ourselves in center by always trying to analyze every class in that way. What can I carry from this class? What way can it help me? What way I am benefited? What way this person is benefited? What way community will be benefited? What way my spiritual life? Sometimes it's not about us at all. It's just about being in Krishna's space. That's it. Just to be there for an hour or half and simply immerse ourselves in hearing about Krishna. Krishna did this to his devotee, and that he did that to his devotee, and that he did this to his devotee. And the fact that 1.5 hours we were immersed in hearing the reciprocation of Krishna and his devotees, we did bhakti. In 1.5 hours, we were in Krishna's space. So that is also healthy, and it has to be done. It should not always be around, what are the lessons, what are the lessons, what are the lessons. Otherwise, sometimes we'll become mechanical about it. Sometimes we just need to forget about let the lessons, go to hell. It's just about being in Krishna's space. Just want to hear about Krishna. Sometimes some things may not even like, oh, this is what happened. That is what Krishna did. Oh, really? This is how Krishna responded. And we should just enjoy that feeling. Yeah, but for every pastime we can churn and churn and churn and some bring out some lessons, but always that should not be the goal. Sometimes we should just be there in because you see, I mean, like even generally, even in a normal relationship, whether it is husband wife or a couple or something, what does it mean by a relationship? In a relationship, two people talk. The girls talk about herself. Okay, this is my family, this is how I am, my brother is like this, my mother is like that. And then she also wants to hear from the other side. Then the boy says, okay, my father is like that, my mother is like that. But we'll not see any relationship where only one person talks. Listen, you just listen about me and that's it. I'm not interested what's happening in your family. Then that's not called a relationship. Similarly, in a relationship of Krishna and a devotee, okay, in some classes we are like, what is in it for me? What is in it for me? What I can learn, fine. Sometimes it's not about learning at all. Sometimes it's just about just hearing about what's happening in Krishna's life. That's it. In Krishna's space, this is what happened. This is how he reciprocated the devotees. And that's just so sweet. So, yeah, I mean, sometimes we need to even see things from that angle. In fact, just other day I was hearing one very nice class by Jananivas Prabhu, and somebody was telling Jananivas Prabhu, please bless that I become a pure devotee. And Jananivas Prabhu asked, why do you want to become a pure devotee? He was shocked because this is what we do. I mean, we keep asking, I want to become pure devotee, please bless me, please bless me. And he was like, and then Jananivas Prabhu said, okay, even if you're not pure devotee, whatever you offer, Krishna is going to accept. And even if a pure devotee offers to Krishna, whatever he gives, Krishna will accept. The only difference is a pure devotee can actually see Krishna accepting it, and the normal devotee can't. But in both ways, Krishna will be accepting whatever food you offer. So now what is your desire? You want that Krishna should eat, or your desire is that you want that you should be able to see that Krishna is eating? Is that your desire? So, why do you want to become a, pure devotee? So, yeah, sometimes it's like, we get into that, that cycle, or that kind of a mechanical thing that what are the lessons? What are the lessons? What are the lessons? But sometimes it's just not about lessons. It's just about relishing the pastime. That's it. This is how this great devotee was, and this is how the Lord reciprocated, and how amazing were his pastimes with the Lord. So yeah, coming down, yeah, there are some lessons we can take about how he surrendered, how he was detached, and how amazing devotee he was, and how Lord reciprocated with him. And yeah, I mean, we can't come out with them lessons, but this is what comes to my mind immediately.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji.
I
Thank you,
like to something. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, Mataji. Go ahead, Ananda Krishna, Mataji.
When I was living in Mayapur, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I was buying a ticket to do, giving the donation to do a worship to Lord Nishingadev. And then our God brother who do that service say, you know what, Mataji? Last night came a sadhu. I know this sadhu. This sadhu, it's a very transcendental sadhu. And you know what he say? He say, I know who your Guru Maharaj was in the past life. And I say, what he say? And then he write the name, say, in the past life, he was Jagannath Goswami. And then now, when I hear with such flavor, the mataji talking about Jagannath Goswami, and then, I have so much, I don't know if it's true or not, but give me so much happiness to hear the pastime, Mataji, from you. And I remember that pastime that I want to share with you. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you for expressing your love for Mataji's kathas. So, Balram Nitai Prabhu, you still have a question? You had your hands up.
Hare Krishna Mataji, yeah, and this is if we have time to So, such amazing devotee, Jaydev, that even his hands cut off, he still thinks of Jagannath. So I would like to know how he left the body. I know you said it's a controversial, but I just want to know both sides of stories. If we had time, yeah.
Okay. About leaving his body, controversy is not about how he left his body. The controversy is where is his samadhi. So I heard that some people say that his samadhi is in Kendubila, the place where he appeared, whereas some people say samadhi. So I mean, maybe there may be some devotees who may be knowing this, but my research is limited to this, and this is what I came to know. So maybe somebody in the forum or maybe in the future from some other place we can come to know, but this is what I know. The Pushpa Samadhi is in Radhakund, and the actual Samadhi is in 64 Samadhi is placed in Vrindavan, and some people, because he also lived in Vrindavan in Keshi Ghat, so we don't know where actually he left his body. And one other pastime that I remember is that when he was very old, he was not able to go to the Ganges to take baths. So Mother Ganges actually appeared to him and said that I will reside in the well behind your house and you can take baths. So I think he naturally left his body at a very old age.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So if there is no other question, we would like to thank Mataji 1,000 times because whenever Mataji appears, we have a lot of devotees who love hearing from Mataji. So let's thank Mataji for glorifying in Lord Jagannath and his devotees in the 4th session of the Lord Jagannath Shravan Festival. So we look forward to hearing from you, Mataji, again and again. So let's thank Mataji once again as we say Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Ancha Kalpasya, Upasandhu, Grateful for your association. Thank you. So we'll have a quick announcements.
Hare Krishna.
We joined today evening for a Sunday Peace class by His Holiness Jagadnath San Maharaj. So don't miss this opportunity to associate and hear from a sadhu, senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada. This Thursday is coming up, is very important Ekadasi, Shravan Ekadasi. It's very difficult to speak after hearing such a nectarian class, so much intense absorption pastimes. Thursday is Shravan Ekadasi, fasting from grains and beans. And Tuesday is Lord Jagannath's return Rath Yatra in Puri, Jagannath Puri. So we'll let you know if we're celebrating. Otherwise, we can absorb ourselves by hearing Krishna on our channel in the morning and evening, our temple channel, 6:30 to 7 Srimad Bhagavatam class, and evening 7 to 8 Bhagavad Gita class on our temple channels. You can join and take the association of devotees as Srila Prabhupada wanted us to hear. So see you all in the evening, and Govindas is on, govindasnj.com. You can place your orders for Govindas Mahaprasad. Hare Krishna Mataji, nice to see you. Hare Krishna. Thank you all. We'll close today's session.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Guru Maharaj.
Radhe Radhe.
Jai Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe.